Good morning. Today is Sunday and we are going to make an apple pie. An apple pie is very typical all in Britain to eat it as a dessert. To make the pastry, which is short crust pastry, you can buy it, masa quebrada in Spanish, okay? But you can make it at home too. What you need is flour, 350 grams of flour. You need 20 grams of sugar. You need a little bit of salt, 200 grams of butter cut in dices, and it's got to be very cold. You have to have it in the fridge. It's very important to be cold. 1 egg and some lemon juice. No, sorry, we don't need lemon juice for here. We need lemon juice for the pie. We need cold water. Cold water, right? Sorry about that. Let's repeat. 350 grams of flour. 20 grams of sugar, very little, which I'm going to put in the flour. Okay, I've put it in the flour. A pinch of salt, which you put it in the flour too. And then you need 200 grams of butter cut in dices, which you also, first, you whisk a little bit the dry ingredients. Remember, these are dry ingredients. You whisk them a little bit with a fork or with a knife, and you put the butter in, right? As you can see, the butter is in the flour, and you can do it 3 different ways. If you have this instrument, all you have to do is go through it like this. The question is that you have to incorporate the cold butter into the flour for it to look like breadcrumbs. You can also do it with a fork. Okay, we can finish off, or we can do it with the hands. Like this, the children can do it and have fun doing it. It's the tips of your fingers that have to rub in the butter with the flour. Okay, and when it's looking like this, more or less, you see, I've been doing it with the fingers. When I was at school in England, they taught me how to do it with the fingers. What you need is 1 egg, which you beat a little bit. And then it's very important to have some very cold water with ice and put a couple of spoons, very cold spoons of water. Okay, and put this in the bowl. With a fork, mix it a little bit. And you finish with your hands. It's got to get together. It has not got to be too soft or sticky, but it's got to join. If you see that you need a little bit more of water, you put a little bit more of water, just a little bit, okay? And you carry on. Okay, look. Now this, you make a ball with the dough, and you have to drop it up and put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. Okay, Very important for it to be in the fridge 1 hour. Okay, this is the dough wrapped up and it's going to go in the fridge. Now, what you need for the filling, for the apple to put inside the pie, okay? You need 1 kilo, 300 grams of cooking apples. If you haven't got cooking apples, you can use other apples. It doesn't matter. You need 150 grams of sugar. I am going to use brown sugar. You need 50 grams of butter, some nutmeg and some cinnamon, little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon, 1 egg, and here is where you do need the lemon for the apples. Okay, what you have to do is peel and dice the apples. I'm going to show you how. Get an apple, get a peeler and peel the apple. Okay. This is the peel of the apple and we are peeling it, okay? Afterwards, we have to cut it and slice it. Okay, this is the apple peeled. You've got to take the cork out of the apple. So if you've got a little machine, you can use it like this, that you take the cork out, the cork, and then you've got to cut it, take off the peel that has not come out, you see, and you have to slice it like this, slice the apple. You have to do that with all the apple, okay? If you haven't got a cork puller, you cut the apple in half, then in quarter, and you just take the cork like this. And it's the same. You do the same thing. You can also slice it like this. If the pieces are too big, you can cut them and slice them like this. The children can slice it on a chopping board. You get a chopping board, you get the apple, and the children can chop it, okay? I'm going to leave you to do that. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I've got all my apples cut up. What do I do now? I put the lemon in, okay? And with the spatula, I mix it. Now I'm going to put the sugar and the cinnamon and the nutmeg. And I'm going to mix all this together. But with the butter, we're going to go to the kitchen and put it in the pan. We're going to cook the apples for 5 minutes. Let's go. 50 grams of butter in a pan. And we wait for it to melt. Once the butter is melting, it's nearly finished melting, you see, you put in the apples. The apples with the sugar, the lemon, the cinnamon and the nutmeg. Okay, I'm going to show you now. And we stir it up a little bit. This pan is not very big, but I have not got a bigger one. Right. And we leave it cooking, stirring a little bit, for 5 minutes. Okay? Just for 5 minutes. Right, I'm going to show you this is nutmeg, and this is cinnamon. Okay? Okay, it's been cooking more or less for 5 minutes, and as you can see, there is a syrup here, which is what we want. We don't want the apples to be too cooked. We want the syrup. We're going to turn off the and put this in a bowl. Okay, now we've got our apples in a bowl, and we are going to leave them cool and put them in the fridge. This has to be waiting for 1 hour or 2 hours.